Hello my friends, so a little bonus video from me, and this comes from a flight from Sleap to Barton. I was flying to Barton to film the aerodrome review, and the weather wasn't great as I headed up the low-level route. I'd planned to leave via the north, but it wasn't good enough to do that, so I had to go direct to Barton.
Having said I was going to go this way, I'm changing my mind because the weather's worse up to the north, and it's quite built up here, which I haven't appreciated. I'm going to leave here at the Thelwall Viaduct.
And the reason for sharing this video with you was I think it was a great example of confirmation bias. I don't know if you've heard of that term, but it's where you're looking for something, expecting to see something, you see it and you assume it was what you were looking for in the first place, and actually it wasn't, it was something else. It can be a runway, it can be a landmark, or it could be something else completely different, not necessarily something to do with navigation. So watch as I approach Barton, watch what I see and how I think that's the airfield when it plainly isn't if I were to just look down at my Sky Demon.
Barton information, Golf Bravo Mike, India Victor, 5 miles to the southwest inbound, request aerodrome information.
Golf Bravo Mike, India Victor, Barton information, hello, runway 26 right, circuits right hand, QFE 1019er, if you clear the low level route, squawk 7365.
Roger, got squawk 7365, 26 right, right hand circuit, QFE 1019er confirmed, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, A firm, QFE 1019er.
QFE 1019er, Golf India Victor.
And Golf India Victor, just say again altitude.
Currently altitude 2,300 feet, Golf India Victor. Correction, 1,300 feet, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, roger.
So you might be able to tell the pressure's on. I'm not hearing the radio calls properly. The wind's up here about 40 knots, down on the ground gusting 30 knots. Got a low cloud base now to the north, and I got my altitude wrong.
Fuel is on, radio's tuned, engine temperatures and pressures are in the green. Direction indicator is aligned. Switch to the fullest tank now.
Just a quick break because I want to let you know that I'll be at Aero Expo this summer 2023. I hope to fly in with Golf India Victor. The show is back at Northampton's Sywell Aerodrome this year from the 8th to the 10th of June. Get your tickets to the UK's Festival of Aviation now. I hope to be doing some fan meetups while there. I'll share some more details about those in the coming months. So in my head I'm deciding that I'm going to join downwind. I can't do an overhead join, so I'm heading to the north now and then intend to turn to the east onto the downwind position. But yeah, this was a difficult flight. It was very, very turbulent, very windy, and the weather, as you can see, is not great. And there's a lot to think about here with the low-level route, making sure I'm squawking and listening at the right times and correctly, making sure that my altitude and my navigation is accurate. So yeah, a lot going on, and I've not been to Barton before, so well, I've been as a passenger before, and I'm expecting to see the airfield quite clearly, but I don't on this day. So as I mentioned, there are other forms of confirmation bias. They might be, for example, some kind of systems failure on the aircraft, and you immediately assume it's one thing because that's the thing in the front of your mind, and you confirm to that with other factors to the exclusion of all other information, and you make the wrong decision. I mean, I've had an issue arriving at Blackpool before. I've been warned that Wharton is nearby and to not land there, and I've come out of the clouds on the ILS and have seen Wharton and immediately assumed that must be Blackpool because it's a runway, and I want to see a runway.
Golf India Victor, just to confirm, sir, how do you intend to join?
Intend to join right-hand downwind runway 26 right, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, roger. There's no reported traffic to affect that. Report downwind.
Okay.
Now that radio call from Barton was actually the realisation point. I'm heading north, and I think I see a windsock, a very bright orange windsock, and I am obviously looking for a windsock, because that's how you identify an airfield quite often, from a distance. But it wasn't the airfield, it was something else. It was, I don't know, a helicopter landing point or something.
Okay, so I saw a windsock over there, and in this bad weather, that's confused me a little bit.
I was heading north. You know, if I just thought about it for a minute, I would have realised I was 90 degrees off the direction I needed to be. Sky Demon would have shown me I was heading in completely the wrong direction, but I'd focused on this windsock and was heading towards it.
Brakes, undercarriage, mixture, fuel, landing light, carpet, doors.
It's possible that Barton could see that I was maybe heading a bit too further north, hence their call about how I'm going to join.
Golf India Victor, right hand downwind, runway 26 right to land.
Golf India Victor, roger, no reported traffic ahead, report final.
Wilco, Golf India Victor.
So I thought this was a really good example of confirmation bias, and clearly I would have soon realised my problem, and hopefully no harm would have been done in this situation. But in a similar situation, as I mentioned with a runway, as I say, when I came out of those clouds on the ILS, I know that I'm looking for a runway, even though I've been warned that Wharton is in close proximity to Barton, and don't mistake it for Blackpool, not Barton, Wharton. I've come out of the clouds, even having been warned, and immediately assume that the runway I see is the runway I want to see, and it takes me 30 seconds or so to realise, no John, that's not the right runway. And you can see how these things easily can happen, because the brain tricks you like that.
It's blues, 3 grades.
So I wonder if you've had anything similar. Maybe you can share your examples in the comments.
Golf India Victor, final runway 26 right to land.
Golf India Victor, runway 26 right, surface wind 270 degrees, 21 knots, gusting 32. Land at your discretion, caution bird activity on the runway.
And 10. Landing Golf India Victor. 10 and 10. 75, 85, 95.
So what I'm doing there is, as soon as I was given the wind, which is obviously very strong, I'm now factoring in the wind speed and gust factor into my approach speed to approach at a much higher speed than I would normally do for landing. That's why I was doing those mental calculations. Yeah, it was a very, very blustery, windy day, right at the edge of my personal flying limits. But nonetheless, it was a very smooth landing, probably because I had a 20-knot headwind, helping to slow things down. So thanks for watching this. I hope I just thought it was a great example of confirmation bias. I wonder if you've had anything similar yourself, and can share that in the comments. As I say, it could be something such as a misidentification of a landmark. You're expecting to see a landmark, you see something that looks like it, and your brain almost magnetically latches on to that and gives you the wrong confirmation. And so I suppose, especially with airfields, we're taught, aren't we, to maybe look for 2 or 3 things when we're seeking out a landmark to confirm that we are seeing what we're expecting to see. Exceptionally easy to do. You can see how these mistakes are made. Thankfully, in this situation, you know, the mistake was picked up. It doesn't look like it was going to end in any kind of problem, but you know, embarrassing nonetheless that I was plainly heading in completely the wrong direction, thinking I'd identified Barton when it plainly wasn't. So yeah, get in touch in the comments, and if I spot anything else like this that we can debrief together, then I shall share that with you. Thanks for watching.